All right, here we go. It is, it's not the next day. It's the day after the next day. Today's the 15th. Couldn't get out yesterday, unfortunately. Had some other things we had to take care of, but I'm headed in today. We've got a west wind, so I'm going to slip in to that area where I caught a glimpse of those bucks 2 nights ago. See what's going on. There's a little sliver of timber in there where I think that those deer crossed, headed to some of this tall overgrown stuff to feed. And just after getting in there the other day, the stuff's so tall, thick, it's going to be tough to get an arrow through that stuff. So I think what I'm going to try to do is slide in there in that little sliver of timber and see if I can catch him crossing it. Hopefully find some sign coming in and out of there and try to set up on it. But again, we have a west wind. You know, the other night it was an east wind, so assuming they're bedded, maybe in a little bit different spot just because of the wind direction. But we're gonna slide in there. We're kind of on the back side of this cold front. You know, yesterday was a high of 19. Today's a high of 40, which may not be a bad thing. You know, we're kind of on the book end of the front, but it's high pressure, bluebird, so sometimes a little warm front isn't a bad thing. So we're gonna slip in there. It's a long walk back there, and we'll get set up and hopefully find some sign and try to get set up on it and catch one of these bucks right before dark. I'm not sure what they were, but at this point in the game, we're not going to be too picky. If the right deer comes through and everything's right, we're gonna let one fly. So it's 1:43. Don't expect anything to move really to the last 30 minutes. So we're gonna slide back there, and we'll see you guys once we're in the tree or getting close, trying to get it set up. So here we go. It's a really fresh scrape. We're gonna ease up about another 30 yards and climb a tree. I think these bucks kind of angled through here. It's somewhere. Hope is they're bedded right up here on the edge of this grass. Filter through. I mean, that's fresh. I'm assuming that was worked the night I saw those bucks. So slip up this trail, climb a tree. We're all set up in the tree. Looks really good in here. On the way in, I cut 3 fresh scrapes. One of them's just right here at 10 yards. The other one's right up here at 20 yards. Kind of got a line of travel coming out of this bedding that's right in front of us. Got a good southwest wind. It's perfect. Very steady. But this is that little sliver of timber that I think those deer from 2 nights ago walked through. There's a lot of that jungle native habitat just right out in front of me here, which is where I think they're getting into and feeding, but hopefully to catch them in this open timber to get a shot at one. See pretty well, so if they cut through at a different spot, you know, we'll file it away and make a move on them at a later date. There's several rubs in here from, you know, November, but these 3 scrapes are fresh. Maybe a little bit of that second rut type deal going on. You know, we're 30 days after the peak. So maybe that's why these are open back up, or maybe, you know, there's multiple bucks maybe competing for bedding in this little zone right now. But either way, we're on fresh sign. Got a good wind. We're up tight to where I think these deer are bedded at. I mean, they should be close. Let's see how far. 64 yards from the closest potential bedding, so it's a great setup. The wind actually picked up, so hanging the stand and doing all that, getting set up, should be okay. There's a possum back there. But I'm not worried about a possum. I'm worried about a buck. Left my jacket at the truck. It's warmed up, but it's not that warm, so I might be shaking a little bit if a buck does come in later on. We've got about 2 hours, so we'll sit here and be quiet. Hopefully one comes through, hits one of these scrapes. Get a nice close shot. I think I just got winded by a raccoon. But we got about 45 minutes left. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen probably right at closing time, so. The day wind's starting to drop. It's getting real still. So we'll see. I'm hopeful that we'll get a glimpse at whatever's laying down this sign. Hopefully one of the bucks that we saw the other night, so. See what the rest of the night brings. All right, that wraps it up for tonight. Had a few does come through. I thought it was going to happen there right at the end. I was filming that doe and fawn that were sucking up hedge leaves and maple leaves right there, and then had a deer coming in behind me, which is exactly where I expected the bucks to come from. Came right at the tree. I assumed it was one of the bucks, and then spun around, got the camera on it, and it was just a lone doe. But she came into one of those scrapes and, you know, sniffed the licking branch, checked it out a little bit, and kept on her way. You know, if that was one of the bucks, we would had a good shot at him there, 10-15 yards. But that's the way it goes, you know, hunting over that type of food source, you know, between the native browse and the hedge leaves and maple leaves in there. And we saw 4 deer. Could have shot 3 of them, just no racks. So that's all right. We got several more hunts to go, so we'll keep after it. Maybe we'll try might try the hills next sit, but a lot of warm weather coming up, so I don't know when we'll get in the tree again, but when we do, we'll be filming it. So we'll keep kind of hitting these fronts and hopefully get lucky on a buck. But that's going to wrap it up on this one. We'll see you on the next one.